Hello everyone, welcome back to the Literal Show. I'm your host for the day, Brianna Wheeler, and we are back with another women's disability show. Today we are going to talk about kind of mental health and dealing with stuff when things in life are rough or when struggles are thrown your way. There's a lot happening with the LA fires right now, and so we're just going to talk about some emergency stuff and just how to prepare in case of an emergency and what we would kind of bring or take. And then at the end, we're going to share some resources as well. And I have a whole list. So you should be able to click inside of the description later on, and it should give you more of a rundown. But we have all kinds of things from where you can donate to where you can pick up to a food, shelter, all kinds of things. So make sure that you guys check that out and stay tuned. Okay, so let's start with introductions. Let's start with Jessica.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Brito. I'm a C7 incomplete. I've been injured 14 years and I'm in Southern California in the Riverside IE area.
That always shocks me each time you say it. I'm like, wait, where are you? I always forget. Okay, let's go to Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley, C4 quadriplegic from Chicago. And yeah.
I'm Nikki.
Oh, I didn't see.
What?
Just go.
I'm Nikki. I'm a T6 paraplegic in Chicago, injured in a car accident.
I must say I forgot that part.
With her.
But I knew you were going to say it.
Ah!
Girl, you got this. Don't worry, girl. Handle it.
We a little rusty.
I am a T12 paraplegic. I was wrongfully shot, and I'm in the Los Angeles area. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining us. You can go ahead and drop your comments inside of the comment section. If you have anything that you want to add to our conversation, go ahead and do that as well. I'm gonna say, Nikki, can you read the comments easily?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
could you open them for me? Because for some reason it's not letting me open it on my side at all, and my screen's a little bit littler, so I can't even read the ones that are on the screen. When you can.
Okay, there's some already. It's going.
Oh,
the chat is going. It is. So we have Grandma saying to like the video.
Thank you.
To like. Leah Fluke saying hi. Hello, thank you for coming. We have Leon who's saying thank you. And what did he say? I am wearing my Wheel Strong family shirt today. It's awesome. I don't have anyone here to get a picture, but I will get one and send it to you and Sean.
Aww, yay.
Lift a rope in.
Okay, yeah, keep dropping by. Even if you just want to say really quick, go ahead. Okay, so we're going to talk about how do you prepare for a possible emergency when you are in your home, and kind of what do you bring and what do you so let's start with Jessica. So Jessica, you've been injured for a long time. Have you had to do like another pack like this, or like be prepared for emergency, or do you have an emergency bag with you?
No, I think the biggest thing that I've done for emergency purposes, notify like my local fire station to let them know that I do live in the community, because sometimes that helps. I was told early on, if they at least have somewhat of an idea of people that have disabilities in the area, they'll go to that house to try to help. Another thing is, especially right now, I'm alone a lot because it's just me and my son. So getting like my neighbors' information and making sure that if I need help, like I can reach people that are right here. And I always keep like a box of catheters in my car. That's always my biggest thing. But I will say that I'm not prepared for if I had to leave right away. I'm not prepared for that.
If you were, what do you think would be like the go-to items that you would put inside of your emergency bag?
So it's interesting because, a lot of my clients have kind of we've been talking about this just because I do have clients in LA. And I think, anything medical any medical needs, right? I would rather take all of my catheters, my suppositories, my medications. That would be the most important for me. And then any important documents. I feel like clothes, shoes, things like that, like we can figure that out later. But I think medically for me, that's where I'd be really scared to not have those things, right? Because even like catheters and suppositories, things like that, medications, you can't just go down the street and buy another pair, right? So I think that would be the essentials, which is anything medical supplies.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. What about you, Ashley? Are you prepared for an emergency where you guys live?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Did any thought?
Yeah, any thoughts?
Like what I should have prepared? Yes.
Why aren't you prepared?
I don't know. Guess I don't know. I live life on the edge. I don't know. I really don't know. How do you prepare? Because you're prepared, I'm assuming.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I have a emergency bag underneath my bed, and it's in easy access because the dumbest thing that I never get is why would you put your emergency bag somewhere that you need to ask someone to get it? It needs to be, it's like annoying because it's kind of right there and I see it all the time, but it has catheters, it has a thing of catheters in it, it has medical supplies in it because God forbid, like I have to go stay at a hotel or something or someone else's home. At least I got my medical stuff, then I can order more. I probably would lose some of mine because I don't keep them all there, but like I want some of them. So I try to keep
Yeah.
at least a week's worth because I feel like in a week I could try to get some more. You know?
Yeah, that's first. I think medical supplies are the go-to. And when I first injured, I thought about it more, but then it kind of just went away over the years for some reason. And this whole like wildfire thing just really like shocked me because I had time to pack a bag, and before when I was packing it, I was thinking, dang, if I had to leave like in the middle of the night, gotten so much. I would not been prepared, like literally. You have to think like it's not in terms of being prepared, but if you go right now, there's a fire, something there's right now, and you need to leave. Like, what are you going to be able to get to, and what are you going to think about in those moments?
Exactly. You're right.
Like, I wouldn't have thought about nothing but me and my dog. Like, I don't know if I would have put shoes necessarily, you know, and so.
Yeah.
Just being grateful that we have the time to do it, I think is something to be mindful about, since there's people that, you know, so I definitely think that being cautious where you're putting things, the habit of stuffing stuff and having to like things before I can get to things that are important, because I don't necessarily need everything all the time. And so, yeah. So
I definitely need to get my important documents situated together, though.
That part. I need to get everything. Wow.
Because I be hiding them, but
yeah,
I need to get them in one spot.
Same, like my documents are not easy to get.
Yeah, I didn't think of that, but that's important.
Yeah.
I'm going to be working on that. Because I'm going to grab my dog and my emergency bag and we going. And obviously, I always have this stuff on the back of my chair, like already. I always have a bag.
Uh-huh. And if it's put up inside of your car, I think that would be like a smart play, but necessarily you might not always be able to get to your car. It's something to be mindful about. It's just in the case like when as disabled people we do need so much, so it's so important that and like even if you're stocking up for a bag, like an extra pair of wipes, you know, like that, like even like I would say like extra pair of shoes if you could keep inside your car is important. You just never know, you know. Of course, like just Jessica said, like clothes and shoes are not important enough to get up. But I think like an outfit, if you are able to pack one, like should be important. Even
I think that you should definitely think about packing clothes. I'm not saying don't pack clothes, but what I'm saying is like, yeah, but what I'm saying is realistically, because even I have clients that I'm like, a lot of people, what they're mourning right now are pictures and like memories and things that they won't be able to get back, right? So, like, one of my clients, I told her, I was like, well, take a pair of clothing, take a couple things, or pack a bag, right? Like, if you were traveling. But, if you do have albums and pictures, I would take that because you're not those things you can't get back. For us, it's medical supplies. Like, we can't just go down the street and buy medical supplies. So that's what I mean.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And being mindful of where you're putting those things. I think everybody has a habit of kind of stuffing stuff away and bring it up like every once in a blue moon. They have it in their garage, in their basement, and like wherever it's kind of tucked away. So just being mindful of that if that's something that can't be replaced for you. It's scary to think about, but it's something that you'll appreciate doing. And I would say you just never know what's gonna happen. Things can happen at any moment. So yeah, and I think it's also just like to be mindful of the stuff that you feel that can't be replaced, whether it's even like a stuff. I think even if you have kids, like thinking about stuff like that is important. Like, again, not everything, and again, like maybe you might have like a certain attachment to it, but it's not necessarily like important. Baby things should be definitely accessible. Sometimes I feel like that stuff also can be in the way, like Nikki said, but it's also like important to have maybe just a drawer, dresser, the spot that's dedicated to that stuff. So let's talk about a time challenge, handled it. Is there a time that you felt stuck, or a time that you felt like if something were to happen inside of a place that you wouldn't be able to get out? I'm trying to think of one. Nikki, what's yours?
You shaked your head. You had one. Like, let me think.
Like if we think about it,
Yeah.
you know, think about when we're at like concerts or something.
Oh yeah, like a
I'd
way
be all
out.
types of paranoid.
Oh, okay, I get that. Sorry, I was
Like,
confused.
where's the nearest exit? Can I get out of it? Nope, probably not, because I'm gonna have to wait for all these people to move first. That's how I'd be feeling.
I like think like that sometimes. Then I'm always like, I don't know. I'd be like, can't live in fear, but definitely think it crosses your mind.
Yeah.
For me, does it cross yours?
It does.
Sorry.
When I more early on, I feel like I panicked about it more, but I think it does, like you guys are saying, like it glimpses, but not necessarily over focus about it.
Yes.
What about you, Jessica?
I mean, I think anytime I'm somewhere where I have to take an elevator, I think about it. And then
That's a good one.
when it comes to like concerts, I remember I was at I think Rock the Bells or something, and all my friends were like trying to get to the front. All day they worked their way to the front of a stage just to be in the front of Kanye. And it was crazy because we got so close to the front, but he has them do a bunch of mosh pits. And so they literally had to, like, there was no way to get me out. It was impossible. Some people wouldn't let me out because they thought we were trying to get closer to the front. But what we did find works is like all my friends kind of locked arms around me so no one would fall on me. So I've learned that a big thing is making sure, again, I'm big on people, right? Like, I feel like as long as I can get the people around me and I can instruct them on how to help me, that works. Like, I had to cast in the middle of that mosh pit. Like, it was intense. They wouldn't let me out. But I was wearing a skirt and I got all the girls in, I didn't even know them, but I got them all to surround me and cover me with a blanket. So,
Shit.
yeah, because I can feel when I have to pee and I'm like, I'm going to go autonomic and I can't get out. So I think that sometimes your best bet is to know how to instruct people to help you. Because, like, I know that if I was on a floor with stairs, and I've had these conversations with my clients because they have gotten stuck without an elevator. And it's like, how do you get down? Or even I had a client that lived on the third story in a power chair and had never thought about how would I get down. And then the elevator did break. So things like that. I mean, I think when I was at Rancho, they teach you a bunch of strategies. Like you basically, I mean, if you're in a place that has like cushions or something like that, you sit on the cushion and you kind of have them, two people scoot you all the way down the stairs, right? So you're sitting on the floor. Um, Obviously, if you know how to like go downstairs in a chair, that helps. But if you're a quad, it's going to be really hard for us. So I think I'm very comfortable in directing my care. And I think a lot of people don't realize that in those situations, the best thing you're going to be able to do is direct your care and speak up because a lot of people wait for the able bodied people to tell them what they're going to do when in reality, we're the ones that should be knowledgeable on how we need to be helped. So I think that's a big
Oh no, Brianna.
no.
We lost Brianna.
disappeared.
Mickey said a funny thing in the chat. If you're at a concert, find the nearest good-looking strong guy and ask him if there is an emergency. He'll pick you up out of your chair and carry you out. And if he's with the girl, she's on her own.
And she's not wrong.
Okay,
Like,
Mickey.
well, she's not wrong. Like me and my friends, like if I want to go to like a beach, I'm at pools. Like I've been to Vegas where I want to get in the pool and they don't have a lift. Like we do that. We just find the strongest guys and just have them move me around everywhere. But I think a lot of times is learning to just use your voice. Like a lot of times we think about it too much and big, strong guys are happy to carry you, you know? The girl will carry you there, right? So I think, yeah, I agree with her because I've done that a lot of times too, where I'm like, okay, like I have to get over it. People are going to carry me. But again, knowing how to direct your care, like if you don't know how to be carried, if you don't know how to be moved, it makes it harder. And if you're waiting for able-bodied people to figure out how to help you, it's just a mess.
Yeah, and I think it can be easy to feel like a burden, but I think you just like need to put your priorities first and just even, like you said, ask the first step. And you'd be surprised about who will help you. And I think like it's also like a time where like you're also frightened, you know, right? It's a scary situation, but you kind of just have to breathe through it. Even if you are scared, you need to come off confident so that they're confident. Because I realize like I'm out, they'll freak out.
Yeah, I think that's a huge one too. Like that was hard too. If you're in the middle of a mosh pit, we're little. Like we're down here and they're up there. Like our oxygen does feel like it's running out. So if you panic, you will make it worse. And I think that's the hard part because my friends say it all the time. Like you look so chill, and then we're fine. But I think if you don't learn how to work in hard situations and you're panicking and they're panicking, because like I said, like if someone tried to pick me up, if they don't know that my knees have to stay close to my chest, I spasm so much it's going to be impossible for them to move me. Like it's really hard to move my body, but they don't even know what spasms are. So if I don't know that, then it's going to be impossible to be moved, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you know your body and how to move and how to do things because it's definitely, and the only way you learn those things is to take risks and take chances in non-crisis situations, right?
I was just going to say that, like, ask family and friends to do it when you're not in an emergency so that you can kind of see what works best and, like, how you could even have directed them better to make it more smoother of a transfer. And it really doesn't take that many times.
Well, the day before yesterday, I was transferring And at my new house, like, it's not fully accessible. And I was transferring out of my car. Dude, I spasmed so bad I flew over the wheelchair
Oh.
Oh,
and like slammed in the ground. And luckily I had gotten my neighbors' phone numbers. And same thing, like the amount of room we had was small, and I called them, but again, only I know how to be transferred and picked up off the ground. Cause right away, right? Like they start pulling, and I'm like, you didn't even count. You're not aligned. Like you guys are never gonna get me off the ground like this, you know.
eh,
But
Yeah.
it's like if you don't know how to direct that, then you're only gonna rely on people that know you well. I mean, practice with the people that know you well, but like, again, I especially me, I know that I can spasm and fly anywhere. So if I don't know how to get off the ground, I'm not getting off because I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah. So important.
That's true. I fell in the middle of the street before, and I was able to tell a man how to get me up.
Yeah.
Ashley flinged me out.
Girl, if you don't,
That's another story.
you telling stories.
Nah.
I mean, like I said, like I fall all the time. Like my spasms are
Yeah.
bad. So there's a high chance like I'll fall. And so if I don't know how to get up, and I'm like, I see a lot of girls in chairs and they're these tiny things, but I'm 5'9", right? Like I got a big booty and thick hips. Like if I don't know how to instruct someone, they're not getting me up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not small because I'm tall. So like if you know. So yeah, it's important to know how to direct your care.
Yeah, I agree. I think like also like if you're not saying it like with a calm tone, people their first response is to freak out because they're like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And if you kind of just let them, then you might even get hurt more, which has happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so those are just like important things and like your body can handle. I get a lot of failed transfers because I have a habit much, and so I'm literally like can't even transfer. My arms are failing me, and so I have to explain to my whoever's around me how to like help me back up inside my chair safely. And, like one time they pulled my arm and it totally like messed me up more. I know I need to like lock onto their arm and kind of like pull myself up that way. But yeah, all little tricks. I think it's important to practice. Sometimes we're so used to doing things on our own, but if like something were to happen, we need to think about those instances of how to direct is our main point. So let's talk about our mental health and kind of like how we handle it. So social media is a big part of our lives, and almost every day that we're on social media, some type of social media. And so, how do you guys handle it when a lot of things are happening or they're going through something different? Multiple times in the last couple of years that something big happens and it kind of just takes over social media, even like the election, stuff like that. Somebody dies, something, an injustice, like multiple different things. And sometimes when you're struggling with life already and mental health and getting on track and being on track already with regular struggles, and then on top of that, like your escape is kind of getting taken away, then that can be overwhelming at times. So see how you guide that, um, what do you do to kind of or to realign your let's start with Ashley.
So social media and the disasters.
Sorry about our dog.
Yeah, sorry about our dog.
Oh no, you're all good.
Having a moment. Okay. For social media, honestly, I take a lot of breaks from social media because I found that social media is a source of anxiety for me. So for me, it's just like limiting my aimless scrolling of social media, and I've been pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at
You
that.
just fully just the way to do is just to cut it off completely.
Hey. Sorry.
It's okay.
You're just yelling.
My
Sorry,
mommy
headphone
instincts.
users. What was the question, Brianna?
Your best strategy is to completely cut it off. You just can't even look at it.
Basically, yeah, just limit. Like, I still go on, I would say, like, every day, but I limit my, like, amount
Yeah.
of time I'm on social media.
Yeah.
And I found that
Yeah.
works for me.
I have like a limit of how many posts like genuinely hurt my heart. Sometimes it's like even nothing specific is going on, but it's just multiple news reports of horrible things happening, and I have to block it away. I have to detach away. I try really hard not to interact with different things because it really messes with my algorithm, and then it's just sad stuff completely, which I don't like at all. And it's like hard to kind of reroute that back. You kind of have to like go through a couple like without even stopping because the algorithm is so specific. If you guys know that you give attention to shows up times. So that's always important to remember. And yeah, I completely have to get outside, watch TV, pray, read, totally connect myself. Sometimes I even cry. I cry for things people I don't even know, for the world. And it's kind of a release of emotions for me, I feel like. And then I'm able to kind of back behind myself. I feel like sometimes the idea that there's so much pain in the world can be overwhelming. And it kind of just makes me want to curl up in a ball and like give up when it's too much, honestly. So I have to like force myself to be positive and like positive in my life, whether that's watching a comedic movie, reading something I like, something like that. Even playing with the baby, I just try to like just laugh, play with my dog. I just try to do something that will redirect my focus onto something else. And that helps. I think it's in moments like that I struggle with like anytime there's like a bit where I kind of stop doing it, I feel like an intense sadness again. I'm not really a fan of that. So then it's just kind of like breathing through that and reminding yourself like that it's okay to be sad because it's horrible things are happening, and it's giving yourself grace as well, but just not staying in it, I think. Yeah. What would you say, Jessica? Am I saying anything wrong? People in the world.
No. I think limiting your time on these things is really helpful. For some people, I say, there's nothing wrong with looking away. I think there's some shame for some people that think that looking away means we don't care or empathize. But some issues in our world we cannot attack in that big global way, right? It's out of our control. So stepping away is something that I think is okay. I think for certain situations, like if there is a disaster near you, even when we had COVID, what I advise some people is if you're a little more sensitive to this content, but you do need to know if you need to evacuate. Make sure that you tell a loved one, like, can you just keep me updated on the things that I have to do, right? And then, yeah, taking a break from it, limiting your scrolling. I think honoring your emotions, right? I like the way you said that because it's perfect, which is it's okay to cry because bad things are happening, right? Like, it doesn't make sense to see tragedy and laugh. Like, getting sad, crying, hurting is normal, but also then redirecting your attention to what can I do in my daily lives to improve what's around me, right? Because I think there is a big desire to kind of just give up, right? Like, what's the point of trying? But the reality is, if the world is struggling and then you allow that to destroy your tiny world, which is you, yourself, and the people around you, then that just adds to the tragedy, right? It's one more tragedy. So taking care of yourself and those around you and honoring those relationships and, helping, volunteering, giving where you can, right? Because we're not going to change the world by trying to tackle the whole world. But sometimes helping and doing in small portions can really help.
Yeah. Just see what you can. That's a good one. And there are little things. I think sometimes it's easy to be like, "What help am I?" But honestly, like even you being like a happy face to see, even like giving somebody a smile in that instead, like being a greeter or whatever, is helpful. So it's like just see what you could help with, and like also believe in yourself. Don't be a time to like also like doubt that. I think sometimes I want to do as much as like a lot of people are doing. I find myself struggling with that a lot, even when all the like protests were going on and everything. And I do suffer with that guilt of like detaching because I almost want to be like, I want to be so helpful, but I physically cannot do it. And two, like I mentally not handle it. Like my empathy level is I care so much. That's why I have to detach. Like, and that's what makes me like hard to like explain to people because I don't feel like everybody does understand that. But that's okay. You just have to stick true to yourself and know what's best for you. Um, Nikki, do you do anything else that we didn't mention specifically when social media is a little bit more heavier on your heart?
Honestly, I'll just get off of it. It's like, that's my go-to. I'll just get off it for a little. I won't lie, like I have a love-hate with the news. Like I love staying up to date on everything. Like I really do. But sometimes I'm just like, okay, take a break, Nikki. Take a break. Go watch a Christmas movie or something. Take a break.
Because it can get
Like, do something
like,
else with my time. But I do love it. But like I said, it's like, it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. But
mhm.
I love staying up to date. Like Ashley knows that. I'd be like, did you hear what's going on in the news? Like, do you hear what's going on in the news? Like,
Like
Yeah, yeah, I
like
that's me. Like I watch the news like 10 times a day. I watch all types of news. Like and you guys like watching movies and doing. I like watching MSNBC. Like that's my fun time. So it's hard sometimes because I am one of those people that I'd rather just watch.
like because of your line of work, you have more strategies to kind of detach.
I think it's not detach. I think it's understanding how much power and control I have of the situation. Right.
Yeah.
Like I do believe, I mean, I feel like because of the work I do, I know I make an impact and I change lives. So I don't need to save the world because I help one person at a time, right? And so I play my part and I do my best. And I mean, I volunteer in other areas, I do other things, and I remind myself of that. Um, and also remind myself that, you know, I like being informed because I want to know where I stand and my position on the world, but not because I feel like I have to change everything on my own.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like um, sometimes for me, it's not even like wanting to change. It's just like genuinely like even feeling sad for like the emotions that they're feeling. But I do have a habit. I have an intense like intake of that content as well, especially probably like the side of the internet that I'm on, and just seeing like all the stuff that does happen. Um, it it's like we gotta know what's going on in the area, like we are saying. So it's kind of like hard balance that you have to make. But I think it's so important to make sure that you are doing the opposite of that and releasing. And um, yeah, I think that that's a smart way to look at it too. Just knowing that you can't fix anything. It's okay to be sad for them, but you can't because then it's just back to back sadness, right? I could fucking cry all day long if I like in
Yeah.
on it. That's the point of
yeah.
Yeah.
that.
I think, like I said, like there is enough sadness everywhere. So start where you are. If you want to help, if you want to start where you are and where you can. Right. So I think that's my main focus.
Nikki, do we have any comments? More comments, by the way?
We have Tom and Bobby in the chat. Tom said, love you guys. Y'all are the dopest. And Bobby said, you're a rock star. Jessica.
Oh, I love you, Bobby.
No, I'm just kidding.
We love you guys.
Yes, we love you so much. Okay. So I'm going to go into some resources. I kind of have a lot, so I'm just going to do a little rundown. This is just for people affected by the wildfires. There are a couple more resources that explain just like evacuate plans, like kind of preparing for disabled people and stuff like that. But this is just going to be a general. It's going to be down in the description below. If not now, it will be at the end of the show. So also, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me or any of the girls, and I can resend the information your way. So there's counseling services. There's 24/7 counseling services. There's Southern California Counseling Center that offers it. So I think that's super important and not something that you should put off as well. If they're offering the free services, take advantage and just see what comes out in it. I think it's very important. Teladoc is offering virtual appointments for non-narcotic medication refills. So non-emergency and non-narcotic, they'll refill it if your medication was lost in the fire or left behind. American Red Cross has shelter locations and safety plans, so you can kind of just genuinely go on there and get a shelter location by you and where that's at. I also don't have on the list, but Watch Duty, if you guys haven't heard about it, is a great app, and they're adding in where there's like food that you can get or shelter or anything like that inside of the area, and it kind of shows you where the fires each are, which are really important. If you need any free masks, bloc LA is offering free masks for people, which is really important with the air quality. There's a lot of old homes that burned down, and so all that stuff is in the air, and it's just really, really not good for us, and breathing in that in could have a long-term impact on us. 211 is also a great help. That's help with honestly anything that you're going through. Calling that number and just telling them what your needs are, and they'll help you with shelter, with transportation, with food, with emergency, with community help, anything like that. They'll give you numbers, food pantries, stuff like that. Really important. United Spinal is offering grants for people that are affected inside of the fire. So I think that that's really important. They're also offering like to pay for hotels and stuff like that with grants. So go and check them out. The Roulettes are also doing drop-offs and pickups for medical supplies at their center, I believe in Venice. That could not be right, but I have their email and part of the list as well. I know Chelsea Hill's also doing individual pickups and drop-offs if you want to Venmo her at Chelsea Hill. You can check her out on Instagram. And then the email for them is info@roulettestance.com. And there's multiple different donation centers like that will be on our list where you can either go and drop it off or pick it up. Another one for medical supplies specifically is the Moss Donation Center, and they are in Venice. So that's located at 1285 Electric Avenue. And that will also be on the list. So there's also the donation centers that we have listed are looking for volunteers, like we said. Any volunteers for all types of things, community outreach, separating things, organizing, stuff like that, even construction, different things. So if you guys are looking to volunteer and you're able and capable to, please reach out to one of these sites. Even going for an hour is helping so many people inside of that's been affected inside of these cities. Another one that I want to mention is sensory items. That's for Able's Dream. So you can email them if there's anybody with autism that needs sensory blankets or sensory toys or anything like that, which is important. That's at info@ablestream.org. And we also have on the list of stuffed animal recovery, which I think is so cute. If you know anybody with small kids, disabled or not, they can go there and get a recovery of their stuffed animals that their children lost inside of the fire. So there are a couple of different things. There's going to be a couple more on that list. There's also a GoFundMe list spreadsheet of multiple different disabled families, the whole breakdown of what they need, how many people are in their families, what their GoFundMe things are. So make sure you check out that spreadsheet if you are trying to help in that way and donate to a specific family. I'm trying to think. That's pretty much all I have for that. Again, please reach out if you guys have anything specific. Also, if you want to give, you have any extra medical supplies, I would say don't give them all, because again, there's a reason why we stock up as disabled people, you know, so I would have a little backup. But again, if you do have a stockpile, feel free to reach out to one of these people to donate it. Okay, girls, do you have anything else to add?
In the comments, someone said that SCA has grants for disabled communities. Check their website.
Okay, cool. Love that.
Just let everyone know we're praying for everyone. We're there. We're here. Live to roll. Keep rolling.
And I also know, I'll let you guys know, I agreed to volunteer to give some free sessions for therapy through the Latinx directory. So I'll have that on my page on Instagram if anyone wants to sign up. But I know it's hard, especially to find a disabled therapist. And so if anyone's struggling with the fires, we are going to be giving out some free sessions.
Okay, cool. If you that, feel free to send us to me, and I'll post it. Yeah, and if anybody wants a prayer request, feel free to DM me and message me. I'm willing to give prayer requests or even just talk to you, stay with you, that you're needed and you're affected by the fires, or even struggling with just mental health and dealing with that stuff. Okay. Okay, let's do our shout outs for the end of the show. So I like to give a shout out to mobility professionals, urology professionals for sponsoring Live to Roll and helping continue our channel. We love and appreciate you guys so much. They are your go-to for any mobility supplies or urology supplies. They have great customer service and really looking out for our community. So make sure to go and message them. For our weekly shows, we have on Monday Howell's Gaming. On Monday, on Tuesday, we have I don't know why I'm reading this so wrong. We have a live every Tuesday at 3:30 with the guys with new topics. So make sure to check them out. They have tons of videos on the channels. Go ahead and catch up. On Wednesdays, we have gaming with T Fizzle, so make sure to check him out. He plays different games. Join inside the chat, even if you're not a gamer, and just support him. On Thursdays, we have every second and fourth Thursday, we have Rolling Over the Hill with the guys, and they just talk about like getting older inside of a wheelchair. So I think it's important for anybody to kind of check out and go and see, so you can see like future references to kind of what your body's going to go through or other problems before they actually happen. It's a great resource. We also have the Golden Oldies, and they talk as well as being older inside of a wheelchair, being female. So be sure to go check out their experiences. And then every third Thursday, you have the Women's Show. We have new topics where we come and talk about different things of just being a woman inside of a wheelchair, or a woman in general, honestly, and just life. We have tons of laughs, tons of information, tons of tips and tricks. So you definitely have to watch the whole thing to get all the little tiny tidbits. They're really special. And so make sure you like and subscribe. Turn your notifications on so that you can get notified when we're going live. And thank you for supporting us. Make sure you guys all live to roll, and Happy New Year.
Bye. Happy New Year.